Lionel Messi really got Cristiano Ronaldo all fired up and totally embarrassed the entire Real Madrid team. He even owned Mbappe on the field and basically ended the career of the best defender in the world. These are the 10 times Messi totally showed up his opponents. Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have always been rivals. Apart from competing for the title of the best player in the world for almost 10 years, they also played for rival teams. So there were always showdowns between the two, but in at least 2 games, Messi completely embarrassed Cristiano Ronaldo. The most remembered match was when the Argentinian destroyed Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu during the 2016-17 Spanish League season. The game was tied 2-2 until the very end when Messi turned the tables with a last-minute goal. Notably, it was his 500th goal for the Catalan club in official matches. It was indeed a special goal, and it's worth mentioning that Messi also scored the equalizer in that match. And to celebrate, he took off his shirt and showed it to the Real Madrid fans, as if to say that he was the one who humiliated the club. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo was very bothered by this, so much so that in the future, he repeated the celebration against Barcelona as revenge. But there was another moment when Messi humiliated the Portuguese and the entire Real Madrid team. In 2010, Messi was the star of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, and they had a historic game against Madrid. The world wanted to see who was better, Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, and the Argentinian showed he was superior. Barca won the match 5-0. With a fantastic chip shot goal from Messi. How did the Portuguese react to his biggest rival's stellar performance? The guy was very, very irritated, so much so that he picked a fight with Gvardiol, pushing the coach and narrowly avoided getting sent off. Well, if there's someone who can get under Cristiano Ronaldo's skin, it's Lionel Messi. But he's not the only player Messi has humiliated. Mbappe is probably the standout player of this new generation, alongside Haaland, but not even he was able to outshine Messi. Despite being teammates at Paris Saint-Germain, the two stars never got along. That's partly because Mbappe had a rivalry with Neymar to be the top dog at PSG, and Messi has always been very close to the Brazilian, so they didn't get along either. This became evident in the 2022 World Cup final. The match was between France and Argentina, and I think you remember who won, right? Messi took the trophy home, but the interesting part is that he and Mbappe kept provoking each other throughout the entire match. After the Argentine opened the scoring, and Di Maria made it 2-0, Mbappe scored 2 goals to equalize. That's when Messi showed who's boss. He scored another goal, and even after Mbappe leveled the game in extra time, Messi converted his penalty, and in the end, Argentina became the champions. It was more than just an ego battle. Both players were trying to etch their names into football history. If Mbappe had won the World Cup, he would have been one of the first players to win 2 consecutive World Cups since the Italian team in 1938 and the Brazilian team in 1962. Meanwhile, Messi was striving to be remembered as one of the greatest players of all time, a feat he achieved as many now compare Messi to Pelé and Maradona after the World Cup victory. But if there's one player whose career was practically ruined, it's Boateng, the guy who got unplugged from the Matrix by Messi. The 2015 Champions League was historic for Barcelona, especially for Messi, and it wasn't just because of the title. The semi-final that year was between Barcelona and the formidable Bayern Munich. The German team was one of the best in the world. They had Neuer at his peak, Boateng as one of the best defenders globally, and a powerful attack with Müller and Lewandowski. To top it off, the team was coached by Pep Guardiola, who had left Barcelona to coach the German side. But nothing could stop Messi. In the first leg, Messi went after the Bavarians and scored an iconic goal that turned into a meme and went down in history. Messi simply humiliated Boateng, leaving him on the ground. Even the best defender is no match for a Messi inspired like he was in that season. Years later, a fan asked Boateng about that goal. "What went through your mind when Messi did that to you? You know what I'm talking about?" asked the fan. Boateng responded, "Honestly, I'd like to see each of you try to mark Messi." Speaking of Neuer, the showdown between them was special. And that's why Messi made it a point to play to the best of his ability in that game. At that time, Neuer was at the peak of his game, and by far the best goalkeeper in the world. A year before the showdown with Messi in the Champions League semifinals, Neuer had provoked the Argentine. They faced off in the 2014 World Cup final between Argentina and Germany. In that final, Neuer was spectacular and didn't concede any goals from Messi's team. Football is like that. One has to lose for the other to win. But Neuer did something a year later that left Messi furious. His biggest mistake was a statement before the semifinal in a press conference. Neuer told journalists that he would show Messi who's boss. Why did he have to say that? Obviously, Messi saw that statement and simply demolished the goalkeeper in both encounters. Speaking of controversial statements, Messi received a lot of criticism from a legendary coach, and he responded on the field in a sensational way. Messi has had several incredible coaches, but one of them isn't among the Argentines' favorites. We're talking about Louis van Gaal. The Dutchman coached Barcelona at the beginning of Messi's career, and that's when the issues between them started. The first conflict arose when the coach sidelined one of Messi's greatest idols, Riquelme, the best Argentine player of that time, in 2003. This already created tension between him and Messi. But things didn't stop there. In 2014, Argentina and the Netherlands faced each other in the World Cup semi-final. And the Dutch coach was none other than Van Gaal. Although the game was intense, there weren't many controversies that day, but this served as fuel for an even bigger clash in the 2022 World Cup. Van Gaal couldn't accept losing to Messi's Argentina. So when he faced Messi again in the quarterfinals of the 2022 World Cup, the coach devised a cowardly strategy to win. He deployed heavy marking on Messi and relied on tall players and constant crosses. It worked to some extent. He couldn't stop Messi, who scored a goal and provided an assist. But he managed to take the match to penalties. However, what really caught attention was Messi's celebration. Look at what he did to Van Gaal after scoring his penalty. After Argentina won the penalty shootout, other players also repeated the taunt. All of this because before the match, the Dutch coach had provoked Messi, saying that the number 10 doesn't make a difference when he doesn't have the ball. Why provoke, right? In the end, Van Gaal was once again humiliated in the World Cup by Messi, and we got an excellent meme in the post-match interviews.
Un poco caliente por el final.
Speaking of the Dutch, one of their defenders was so afraid of Messi that he had to call for help. Van Dijk was the best defender in the world for quite some time. The guy struck fear into every attacker and became a literal wall in Liverpool's defense, going another year without being dribbled past. Yeah, he was that good, but not good enough to stop Messi. In a Champions League clash against Barcelona, Jurgen Klopp assigned the task of marking Messi to Van Dijk. However, the defender couldn't handle it alone, and to avoid getting dribbled past for the first time in the season, he had to call for help. Check out the play.
O Van Dijk pede, pelo amor de Deus, para alguém vir ajudar. Para não levar o primeiro drible da temporada, né?
But if seeing a defender of Van Dijk's caliber asking for help isn't humiliation enough, Messi pulled another move at the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Despite an excellent season, the defender was in the running for the Ballon d'Or, but Messi was awarded the best player in the world, leaving Van Dijk in second place. And check out their reactions. Messi gets up and even gives the defender a little hug, just to tease him a bit. But if there's a defender who suffered at the hands of the Argentine, it's Sergio Ramos. He is undoubtedly one of the best defenders in history, but he had the misfortune of playing in Messi's era. In every game between Real Madrid and Barcelona, it was his responsibility to stop Messi in the final third of the field. And usually, Sergio Ramos used his dirtiest tricks to halt the Argentine. But in 2017, Messi decided to pay back for all the fouls he had received from the Spanish defender. In that same game where Messi humiliated Cristiano Ronaldo, taking off his shirt to celebrate at the end, he also got back at Sergio Ramos. The defender was desperately trying to hurt the Argentine and was making one tough tackle after another in the match. But in the end, Messi found a way to remove Sergio Ramos from the game. He managed to draw a foul that got the defender sent off, and without his main marker shadowing him, Messi scored that last-minute goal to win the match at the Santiago Bernabeu. Only Messi could dismantle Real Madrid and all its players like that. Speaking of defenders, the last great defender who was humiliated by Messi is one of Gvardiola's biggest protégés. In 2022, Croatia came with a strong team to try to reach the World Cup final again. They had just eliminated Brazil in the quarterfinals and had Argentina ahead. According to commentators, they had the secret weapon that would put an end to Messi, a defender named Gvardiol. The guy was fast, big, strong, and seemed like a machine prepared to stop top attackers. So much so that Guardiola made sure to sign him for Manchester City for a whopping amount. But if Gvardiol was a machine, Messi had the instruction manual because it only took a few seconds for him to leave the big defender completely lost on the field. The guy was having the best campaign of his life, but he was simply humiliated by Messi. Now check out how the Argentine humiliated an entire country. The breakout star of the 2014 World Cup was a Colombian named James Rodriguez. Indeed, he played exceptionally well that year, earning a transfer to Real Madrid and even inheriting the club's number 10 jersey. However, Colombians got a bit too excited about James, claiming that he was better than Messi. Some in the media jumped on the bandwagon, starting to taunt the Argentine. All Messi did was wait for the perfect opportunity to show who's in charge. Shortly after the World Cup, Argentina and Colombia faced each other, and Messi demonstrated that no one is better than him when he's inspired. He dismantled Colombia, and the country faced one of its biggest national football embarrassments. Moreover, James Rodriguez was never the same after realizing he could never surpass Messi. But no one surpasses what Dybala did. The guy got too full of himself and ended up with his career in ruins. In 2017, Dybala was on fire for Juventus, and many claimed he would be Messi's successor. Indeed, the midfielder was playing exceptionally well, but he started getting too full of himself. Dybala even went on record in an interview saying that he found it challenging to play with Messi. He later explained that he didn't want to share the same space in the midfield with the number 10. In other words, he was practically saying, it's either me or Messi in the midfield. If this was an attempt to relegate Messi to the bench and secure a starting spot, it backfired badly. Dybala lost his place in both the national team and Juventus, and his career practically went downhill. In an alternate scenario, he should have been one of Argentina's key players in the last World Cup, but that didn't happen. The guy spent most of the tournament on the bench, and many don't even remember that he was on the team. Meanwhile, Messi showed that playing with him is far from difficult. He led a bunch of young talents in the tournament, ultimately clinching the title. Click on the video that's appearing on your screen to discover 12 secrets you might not know about Messi.